Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood, Zach Stat Pearson. And today, I'm joined by he who is getting the longest intro that has ever lived in the year 2023. He whose D is without equal. And mastery of the leagues and the legends is second to none. The tallest of all that is tall. The retired Wakandan ambassador to the United States military, a one Romulus the God Slayer.
My boy really gassing me up right now. I love it.
I mean, you've been gone for like legitimately a full ass year. I got to.
Been a long time.
Okay. All right. And next up is our newest affiliate and associate, our diversity hire, DJ Cereal Sauce.
I don't know how I got in here. They kind of just like, I just woke up one day and all of a sudden I was getting all these messages from people I didn't know. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I gotta be here now.
And lastly, the original guest star, a one Officer 9000 plus one.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
He even sounds sleepy on that shit. All right, so as if you can't tell,
I am sleepy.
As if you can't tell from the video, well, I mean, podcast people probably can't, but Spotify seems to be experimenting with videos for some reason. We will be discussing franchise revivals relating to Sega. So for the what's a good way to describe it? I guess uninitiated, it has come into common knowledge that the rumors of Sega, quote unquote, seeing which franchises may be viable for revitalization is starting to become more than a rumor. And not just because there were Jet Set Radio 3 leaks and video footage shown off from an investor meeting in secret, but because that's exactly why. That's the only reason. Because first off, we've been hearing rumors that Sega wants to revive some old franchises, but they don't know which ones. I think possibly fucking half of my adult life at this point, to be honest. But they keep finding a way to Nintendo it. Look at F-Zero. Companies have offered to make them F-Zero, and what did Nintendo do? They kept bullshitting and playing the whataboutism game until, quite literally, there's no one left to even try or who's interested in trying. So yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna go first. So Officer can't say Skies of Arcadia because I'm going to say Skies of Arcadia.
Get fucked.
Let's see. I heard that. Let me see. Skies of Arcadia. That's how you know you got a good ass game when it's got gifts and it's not even got ports. There we go. Number one, Skies of Arcadia. Because it's Skies of fucking Arcadia. And I'm even going to write that it's number one. Just so you know, I came first. Pause. Okay, so here's the thing about Skies of Arcadia. It wasn't so much that it was revolutionary. It wasn't so much that they reinvented a common wheel relating to RPGs. Yes, that's right. I said RPGs because a country is not a fucking genre. I don't know how many times I've said that on this show, but I'm not going to stop. So, fucking, here's my take on it. There are things that I relate to being creative, and there are things that I create to refining your craft. Skies of Arcadia, to me, is the definition of refining your craft. If you sit down and look at it and really pay attention, it didn't do anything super special, anything traditionally out of the ordinary, except have a ridiculously compelling story, which Sega is practically never known for. And even though it was a little bit simple, it was put together well. This game is a definition of this is what happens when you master your toolkit. Now, the characters, first and foremost, I'm glad they got out of the whole entire, hey, everybody needs to be a goddamn teenager bullshit. They're grown-ass adults. Yes, particular people are stars of the show because it was made in Japan and it was made in the 90s in Japan. So, you know, by default, a teenager is going to be the star or the person responsible for saving the world. You think it's bad now, go look at the 90s. So, yeah, it's actually fucking depressing at this point. I've even told some of my young friends, like, I know this looks new and creative to you, but that's because you just started. You went down the well because of Toonami. I went down the well because I flicked channels and found shit. But anyways, look, all you did was find out or think that you were alone out there. The biggest issue and corruptors creating the issues that were going on in your planet were relating to one kingdom and WMDs of that one kingdom and other things. However, upon discovering Fina, and well, we don't realize it because, you know, the graphics at the time, she's wearing a lot of artificially advanced or, you know, just scientifically advanced clothing that you can get off planet. And that the reason the world is messed up in the sense that different pieces of land float above the planet, things are dissected into sky islands like we play in Sonic the Hedgehog, is because of a particular group of douchebags who just woke up and decided, man, this planet's fucked up. Hey, let's try to fix it with essentially a fucking cleansed by fire and technically meteorites. Literally, these mugs actually pulled off black materia. The one thing Sephiroth was trying to do for most of the game, they pulled off before the game started. And we're contemplating doing it again. So Fina is sent down as an agent as well as one of her only friends. However, they end up taking two different sides for the most part. Now, that's about as much as I can really say without spoiling the story because, let me be clear, Skies of Arcadia is still a good game and it's still fun to play. But essentially, you go on a sky pirate adventure and they're doing that whole let's pretend these aren't criminals things even though we're calling them pirates situation like they do with One Piece. Which, come to think of it, I wouldn't be surprised if some elements of Skies of Arcadia inspired some elements of One Piece.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think they came out the same year. So,
hard to say.
Yeah, and well, I don't feel like looking into it at least. So the way I see it, this game was turn-based, but the combat system was cool. When your characters move around and hit somebody on screen, they actually move. Their special abilities were not based on traditional Dungeons and Dragons stereotypes. I don't think people understand how rare that is even in today. Now, that girl y'all see on screen, the one with the orange hair with the high-fiving her homie and her best friend, yeah. She's on some Kingdom Hearts levels of crack. Like, they on that refined cocaine. She can turn off magic and she's not even a magic caster. Let me say that again. She has a move that is easy to do that turns off magic.
Yup.
Delta Shield. Nobody can use magic. Your enemies, your bosses, your playable characters, everybody. If she uses Delta Shield, fuck your magic. You better have some good ass items. This girl fights with a fucking energy boomerang. Like she came out of Phantasy Star. Believe me when I tell you, they went out of their way to make things look and feel very, very unorthodox. And that's why I love it. Because it shows how creative Sega could be. It came from a studio that they basically reabsorbed into itself, even though they're the ones who split it up in the first place. Very Capcom logic right there, called Overworks. Overworks' job was basically to, unofficially, through rumor bullshit, I'm not saying this is true, and I'm putting the asterisk of allegedly on this. They were separated because there were some tax benefits and tax breaks based on if Sega moved certain things around and certain developers and certain software and engineers in the company. And then immediately they became fucking successful. Almost everything Overworks put out was considered some of the best shit Sega made that year. or going forward and back 5 years. And then they reabsorbed them and then completely separated the entire groups, despite the success and popularity of everything they made, Skies of Arcadia included. Again, very Capcom logic. Now, officially, the reasoning is because Sega just decided that they no longer wanted to have a secondary out-of-house development wing or studio. But you see how both of these still sound fucking stupid.
Extremely.
Yeah. You're on an aura system too to do your special attacks. You basically charge up like you're in Dragon Ball, a key meter that's directly above you in battle. So, you know, a magic point system ain't necessarily important. However, it is shared between all characters you have. So, it might be beneficial depending on the scenario, the situation, if someone's dead, for them to, on some level, stay dead. Because now you got the whole meter to that one character, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not going to act like I played this game yesterday. There was a Dreamcast version, and then there was a re-release for the GameCube that they never republished. And within a year of it coming out, not only did its value not decrease, but it became a hard-to-find collectible. That's how good this game is. The re-release is equally as hard to find as the original.
Yup.
Now, the second title, well, how to put this? I don't know who owns it, so I'm gonna just state that right now. But, hey, look, Shenmue 3 was a definition of a shitty nightmare. Everything that it was Shenmue 3 subtitle should be Murphy's Law. Shenmue 3 was better off not being made and being envisioned in people's heads than it was being made. Unfortunately, and this is something people don't know, and yes, I'm gonna make another part for it. You know what? Actually, if you can move that He Big Mad next to my number 2, that would be great. Yu Suzuki, who was considered a famed and legendary creator for Sega, once he left Sega, which, by the way, he didn't actually retire from working. He just decided, I'm not going to do game development anymore. He decided to not learn anything new about the industry at all. So when he came back specifically just to make Shenmue 3, he was actively fighting against his own team that was telling him, hey, don't do this. You shouldn't do this. I strongly recommend not doing this. There's no need to do this. And they lost every time, essentially. Oh, and then the worst part, I'm going to spoil this, but that's because I don't want people to suffer through what is Shenmue 3. There is no progression. There is no progression with everything that happens with the main character and the fucking series antagonist. He accidentally bumps into him, not knowing that, oh shit, this little kid's still looking for me. And then he can't beat him. And in like, I think, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he just magically pushes you away and runs off on a boat someplace we're never going to find out about, with Ryo just looking on and being angry that he didn't stop him. I'm not joking. I'm not fucking joking. They made a cutscene just for Ryo, the main character, taking off his shoes and putting on his shoes when he leaves a house. I'm not joking. PC modders couldn't fix this damn game.
Jesus Christ.
I think maybe half because they didn't want to, or half because they don't want to suffer Shenmue 3.
Yeah, probably half one, half the other.
So, those are my two. And oh my god, is it just fucking... It's fucking disgusting. Because on both accounts, the people who made them, it's almost like they got punished for being good at their job. Don't get me wrong. At the time, Yu Suzuki did a bang up job. There were Americans trying to interview him about his creation process and methodology, let alone the Dreamcast magazine. But then he gets to 3 and they're just like, hey, let me do the exact same thing I did last time, not update or learn anything new. It's just fucking... It's so sad because everybody knows the potential they could have had with Shenmue 4. Let's not forget, Virtua Fighter was the base engine, or the Virtua Fighter combat style was the base engine for Shenmue last time I checked. Don't quote me on that. It's been over 15 years, obviously, since Shenmue 1 came out. But there's just no excuse for the last song in Shenmue to be trash.
Something just so bad.
Also, I'm real talk. I am very offended that Skies of Arcadia is never represented in Project X Zone, but that's a whole nother mess.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, they pulled so many things that we're never gonna get a sequel. Zombie Revenge. Don't nobody remember Zombie Revenge. I fucking love that game though. And fucking, I don't even think there was Power Stone representation, but we'll be here all day. However, you know, I'm not here to hog the light. I'm gonna go to push to talk, and Romulus, you can go next.
All right, hello and welcome to my funny TED Talk. Today we'll be talking.
Too many G's.
I'm trying to use push to talk, but I'll go to active right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead. It's your time. And make sure you put number 3 directly under mine.
Okay, so let me get hey, can you hit that out for me? Gotta scroll down.
Yeah, if you scroll, if you use a scroll wheel and
So,
pull out.
number 3 in my lineup.
Nights in the Dreams. Oh shit! Yeah, that's another one where the last. That's another one, ironically, where the last note was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
This is a game I have been waiting for them to bring back ever since I got to actually play it on the Wii. Because for me, the Knights games were always just a nice fucking segue from everything that happened.
Wasn't that game Balan Wonderland kind of sort of related to Nights into Dreams?
Stop giving me a
but
nightmare.
Balan Wonderland
Stop
did
giving me
an awful
nightmares.
job about explaining.
Sir, don't you ever give me nightmares again.
Sorry.
Yeah, Balan Wonderland was the worst Knights representation because originally
100%.
they actually explained the traumas each child had and how to face them, rather than Balan Wonderland showing random clip of a girl getting killed by dolphin, and now we're playing Mario. Then it's just resolved. No,
Here's my favorite part. Yuji Nakamura, as big of a douchebag as he is, this idiot thought he was making an action game, and he even said it in a presentation. I was fucking blown away.
I like the free form of the flying. Very much the circusy time you had to have, because it wasn't just run at the enemies. You had to do. It was just so much more acrobatic and fun. It just felt like a free-flowing game to do whatever you needed to do to get to the courage orbs. I don't remember what they were called. It was just there was a lot going on, and there was not enough time for me to play, because around the time I actually got into Knights, Brawl was already out. So you already know that was just it was doomed.
Subspace Emissary, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But with this resurgence of Sonic in general, and trying to make him stand on his own, I feel like they should really go back into making this stand on its own too, because it had a great presence. Like, they were really going hard with it on the Wii, and then nothing. You could play as Knights has been in so many other Sonic games, and they deserve to be in their own game in general. The other game that I want, number 4.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Oh,
You got another one? Okay.
Pretty
Yes.
sure he's still going. Yeah.
that's why I said number 4, House
I
of the
thought you
Dead.
saw, I thought you saw House of the Dead and you were like, all right, no, fuck that, skip. Who's going next?
I'm saying, like, House of the Dead should be praised. This is a funny ass game. But I could also see the problem because it was very much targeted as an arcade rail shooter. But I fucking enjoyed the story. V trying to turn everybody into zombies.
Let me ask you something. If they did bring it back, what would you change to the gameplay style? Would you make it still arcadey, or would you try to make it more like a Resident Evil or something? As ambiguous as that term is.
If I was gonna bring this back, I would definitely try to keep its arcade likeness. It has preserved its test of time, and I can already see just how often people play games like this in general. Because I still be burning quarters trying to play the Jurassic Park game. But
Oh
if we were
man,
trying
that
to-
takes me back.
Yeah, they got that at Galloping Ghost.
If we were gonna keep it up to speed, I cannot think of that one robot game that was included with the Bayonetta 1 bundle. If somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Vanquish?
Yes, I wanted to play
Yep,
like
Vanquish.
He's sliding around, cutting up zombies and shit. They're fucking dope as hell. That's what I need. I really want to make everything feel interactive, not use gun to shoot at certain parts. Shoot a gun here, deflect with a blade. Oh, it'd be fucking perfect. Now you can go.
Okay. Alright, who wants to go next?
I suppose I could go next.
Okay.
Let's see here. Should we just keep going down, or maybe put some to the right?
You can put some to the right. Bro, put it by the number 1. Would you like to say the name of the title? Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. One sec.
Well, at least dead air is easy to edit.
And switched over to voice activity. Okay, so I got like 3 here.
You're gonna have to speed through one of them if you want to get them
Yeah.
all in.
I mean, they're all gonna be honestly real quick. First one we got
Damn.
fucking Golden Axe. For those who know, Sega was actually doing a remake of Golden Axe. They decided, nah, we're not gonna do that shit. We're just gonna, take this and release this little demo of, oh yeah, here, take a look. This is what we got. This is what we started on. And honestly, with beat 'em ups like Golden Axe, Streets of Rage 4 came out. That shit was fucking awesome. Still fucking awesome. I think they've recently released some DLC for it. That shit, the beat 'em up genre could definitely get a sort of revival here, and I think Golden Axe deserves another fucking chance. Because Sega did it dirty by just abandoning that project they were working on. They even called what they released Golden Axed with a I appreciate the pun, but also don't appreciate the pun. Shit was... Ugh. Okay. For my next trick, let's pull out another old classic beat 'em up that Sega released by the name of Altered Beast, which, again, with the mention of Golden Axe here, I think the idea of bringing back all these beat 'em ups, yeah, this can work. I think people, look at it and think they'll have decent interest in it. Of course, Altered Beast did have a really, really awful PS2 game, which...
Bro, how are you organizing these gifts? Look at how we got it.
I'm not doing anything with the gifts right now. I'm just talking.
Wait, then who's doing that?
What color is it?
What the fuck? Hill? Damn, Hill!
Fastest gift in the West.
Anyway. What I was saying was, Altered Beast had a kind of not so good PS2 game back in, I think it was 2002 or 2003. That was honestly better off forgotten, from what I recall. But yeah, beat 'em ups, this shit can work. Now for my last one, Space Harrier. One of your classic on-rails shooters, which I honestly haven't seen many on-rail really popular, well-known, popular and highly renowned sort of on-rail shooters these days. I think maybe, they could easily get maybe even a sequel to Space Harrier. But I would think they should probably change it so it's not just an on-rail shooter. Maybe add some new aspects, because as we established with Shenmue, there's nothing wrong with going with something that works, but you should also change with the times. And I think that's about it for me.
All right, Cereal, take us home. Preferably with smaller gift sizes.
My handwriting is tiny and I can make my gifts even smaller. Don't even worry about that. Let me pull this. I've actually never used the whiteboard before. This will be fun. So this is an interesting situation because the initial question that was posed to me on how to actually get here was like, do you play Sega games? And I was like, yes. And then I realized what that actually meant was I was playing games that were made for a Sega console that were not necessarily published or produced or anything.
Or it could be just something that's dead. It doesn't have to be something that died with the Dreamcast.
Right, yeah. So that whole thing. And so I panicked a little bit when this topic had come up because I realized there's not a lot of games from Sega's IP list that I've actually played before, but there are a couple that I do have at least enough information about them that I would like for them to come back. In this case, I only have one, which is actually the I guess the kind of spin-off of the Yakuza games, the Like a Dragon sort of subset of all of that.
They got a couple spin-offs. You're gonna need to be more specific.
Shit. Well, let me work my way into that. Let me punch this in really quick.
Funny you say Like a Dragon, because that's what the series is called over in the Land of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, I think they officially adapted the name to Like a Dragon over here 2 years ago.
Do it like that. Fuck it. Yeah, so from what I've come to understand, which a lot of this information is actually coming through one of my buddies, he's really into the entire Yakuza series as is, which is, the most generalized I can put it is like a beat 'em up game. And then I guess there was like some sort of one-off little mini game or Easter egg or secret or something in one of the games where you played it like an RPG and it wasn't supposed to be taking itself super seriously, and people just loved it, and so they made an entire spin-off game around that whole RPG concept. And supposedly they might be doing another one.
Well, they are. It's. I think it comes out in 2 months. But what thing
shit.
are you trying to have be revived? Which particular spinoff?
To be honest with you, I actually didn't even know that there was a bunch of like spin-off variations of that spin-off in and of itself.
They had like a Dragon has multiple spinoffs. There's the zombie beat 'em up shooter type third person game. There's the ancient Wild West, not ancient Wild West, the ancient Wild Edo period style themed Yakuza game, which they only made one, and then they didn't release it in America until like 8 years later.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, Sega logic. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one that I'm more familiar with, is like the one that, to call it Wild Wild West is definitely not even remotely correct, but I believe it still maintains
the Edo
some
period,
kind of,
like samurai type era. I can't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wish I knew the name of it.
Officer, if you can, look that up for us.
For which now?
Whichever Like a Dragon game was the spin-off where they was in like the samurai period.
Pull that. Whatever. Either way, yeah. So that was the specific one that I was looking at, mostly because of all of the. I don't know. I'm a person who, if your game is like well designed and also doesn't take itself that seriously, especially when you're talking about something that's in a spin-off fashion like this, I'm probably going to be super into, at the very least, the concept of that idea. And so I have a buddy who has been kind of running through the games and just telling me about miscellaneous things that happen in the game. He's like, you run a company, and the bigger your company, the more influence you have, the more money you have. There's all like, I think the more money you have, there's even certain attacks that can be affected by the amount of money that you have. Like if your net worth is higher, you can use an attack where you're like hitting people with a stack of money, and if you have more money, that stack of money becomes fatter and does more damage.
God, that is so hilarious in Final Fantasy. That was one of the funniest things you could do in Final Fantasy. You could literally throw money at people and they would die. That's fucking hilarious.
Yo.
I believe they returned it to Remake Part 2 too.
See? They're smart. They know what people want.
Yeah, beat the shit out of people with money. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Did you find the name of that particular Like a Dragon game yet?
Yep.
Sir?
Ryuga Gatoku Kenzan.
Yeah, that shit that we don't know what means. That one.
Yeah, just put like the whole thing in Japanese on over the text.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I definitely appreciate you coming through. Romulus, it is always a pleasure. I believe the next thing we're going to be doing is either Spider-Man 2, whilst I am editing a massive shitload of back catalog stuff. But yeah, for those of you new listeners, or for those of you continued listeners, if you want to know what any of the games we're talking about looks like, don't worry. The editor will have pictures of the box art so you can acquire these games however you see fit, since you can't buy them the normal way. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Feel free to get them how you can, because I'm not paying damn near $300 for a copy of Skies of Arcadia, and I love the game.
That's a bit excessive.
And it's a GameCube game too. For $300, you can literally get a GameCube, 3 fucking controllers that are damn near brand new, and at least 6-7 games. Also, quick side note, I would like to see Vanquish return, because Vanquish was fucking cool. with that being said, that brings this episode to a close, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Have a good one.
Later, peeps.
See ya.